Let me paint you a picture. You wake up tired, even though you slept 7 hours. You look in the mirror and there's that same stubborn belly that doesn't move no matter what you do. You drink your coffee, push through the morning, and by 2 p.m., you're running on empty again. You tell yourself it's stress. You tell yourself it's age. You tell yourself you just need to try harder. But what if none of that is true? What if the real problem has nothing to do with willpower or your metabolism or how many calories you ate yesterday? What if the organ sitting quietly on the right side of your abdomen, the one you almost never think about, the one that never sends you a pain signal until things are already serious, is the actual reason your body feels the way it does? That organ is your liver, and for millions of people right now, it is overwhelmed, inflamed, clogged with fat, and silently dragging down every other system in the body along with it. Here's what makes this so dangerous. The liver has no pain receptors. It cannot tell you when it's struggling. It will work harder and harder, compensating, adapting, doing its best, until one day the blood work comes back abnormal and your doctor starts using words like fatty liver, elevated enzymes, early fibrosis. And by that point, most people wish they had paid attention sooner. That's exactly what today is about, paying attention before it gets to that point. Or, if you're already there, giving your liver the exact raw materials it needs to begin healing itself. I'm going to walk you through 8 specific drinks built entirely from whole, real foods that contain compounds shown in research to reduce liver fat, lower inflammation, restore detoxification function, and protect liver cells from further damage. Every single one is easy to make, genuinely delicious, and grounded in biology, not trends. And at the very end, I'm going to show you a fermented drink recipe that is so simple, so effective, and so surprisingly tasty that it might permanently replace soda in your house. Let's get into it.
The organ nobody talks about until it's too late. Think about how much attention we give the heart, the lungs, the brain. There are entire awareness campaigns, charity runs, ribbon colors dedicated to them. The liver gets almost nothing, and yet it is doing more work right now than almost any other organ in your body. Over 500 distinct biological functions. Let that number sit for a second. 500. It filters your entire blood supply multiple times every single day. It produces bile to break down dietary fat. It metabolizes every hormone your body produces, including the ones that regulate your mood, your weight, your libido, and your stress response. It stores glycogen for energy. It synthesizes proteins your blood needs to clot, and it detoxifies every chemical, medication, food additive, and environmental toxin that makes its way into your bloodstream. When the liver is healthy, all of this happens silently and efficiently in the background. When it isn't, when fat begins accumulating inside liver cells, when inflammation takes hold, when the detoxification pathways start to slow, you feel it everywhere. Brain fog, fatigue, hormonal imbalance, stubborn belly fat that will not respond to diet or exercise, digestive discomfort, a vague, persistent sense that your body just isn't working the way it used to. And the cruel irony is that most people never connect those symptoms to the liver. They keep chasing other answers, trying other solutions, wondering what's wrong with them, while the real issue sits there, unaddressed, getting worse. A fatty liver doesn't just stay a fatty liver. Left unchecked, the chronic inflammation it generates begins to damage liver cells and replace healthy tissue with scar tissue, a process called fibrosis. And scar tissue is permanent. It doesn't regenerate. It doesn't come back. Once it's there, that portion of your liver is gone. This is why I want you watching this video right now, not 5 years from now. Because the liver, unlike almost any other organ, has a remarkable, almost miraculous ability to regenerate and repair itself when you give it the right environment, the right nutrients, the right compounds, the right fuel. That's exactly what these drinks provide. Every smoothie uses a base of 1 cup of water and 1 cup of ice.
Drink 1. Spinach and kiwi, the blood sugar stabilizer. Picture your blood sugar as a river. When it flows steadily, everything downstream runs smoothly. Your energy is consistent, your cravings are manageable, your liver processes fat at a healthy rate. Now imagine that river flooding, spiking violently after every meal, crashing an hour later, then spiking again. Every time that happens, your liver gets hit with a surge of excess glucose, and glucose it can't immediately use gets converted into fat and stored directly inside liver cells. This is how fatty liver develops in people who've never touched alcohol in their lives. Pure dietary sugar overload. Spinach is one of the most effective whole foods for stabilizing that blood sugar river. Its magnesium content, fiber, and specific plant compounds all work together to improve insulin sensitivity, meaning your cells respond to insulin more efficiently, and glucose gets cleared from the bloodstream before it has a chance to overwhelm the liver. Kiwi adds something different. It's one of the most vitamin C-dense fruits on the planet, and vitamin C isn't just for immune function. It's a direct building block for glutathione, which is the liver's own internal master antioxidant. When glutathione levels are high, the liver can neutralize oxidative damage rapidly. When they are depleted, which happens with chronic poor diet, alcohol, stress, and environmental toxins, liver cells become vulnerable to the kind of damage that leads to fibrosis. 2 to 3 kiwis, 1 cup of spinach, a squeeze of fresh lemon or lime juice, water, and ice. Blend and drink immediately while the enzymes are still active. This is the drink to start with if you're new to any of this. Simple, approachable, and quietly powerful. Drink 2, spinach and grapefruit, the bile activator. Most people have never thought about their bile in their entire lives, and that's actually part of the problem. Bile is the fluid your liver produces and stores in the gallbladder, and it does 2 critical things. First, it breaks down dietary fat in the small intestine, so your body can actually absorb and use it. Second, and this is the part most people don't know, it's the primary vehicle your liver uses to export toxins out of the body. When you eat, bile is released into the small intestine. It neutralizes stomach acid, emulsifies fat, carries toxins to the exit, and gets reabsorbed at the end of the intestinal tract to be recycled. When bile flows well, your liver is constantly self-cleaning. When bile becomes sluggish, thick, congested, backed up, toxins can't exit efficiently, fat digestion suffers, and the backup of bile into the liver itself causes inflammation and referred pain, often felt in the right shoulder, the right upper back, or under the right ribcage. Grapefruit changes this. 2 specific compounds, naringenin and naringin, have been shown in multiple studies to directly stimulate bile flow, improve insulin sensitivity, and reduce fat accumulation in the liver. It's one of the most liver-specific fruits in existence. 1 whole grapefruit, peeled but with all the pulp and fiber intact because this is a smoothie, combined with a generous handful of spinach, half a lemon, water, and ice. Blend completely. Drink it and imagine the sluggishness in your liver starting to loosen and flow.
Drink 3, kale and pomegranate, the inflammation crusher. If fatty liver is a fire, inflammation is the oxygen feeding it. And inflammation in the liver is not a small, contained problem. It spreads. It recruits immune cells. It damages healthy liver tissue. It generates free radicals that attack cell membranes. And over time, months, years, it is what turns a reversible fatty liver into irreversible scar tissue. Kale attacks inflammation from one direction. As a cruciferous vegetable, it contains glucosinolates, compounds that activate specific liver detoxification enzymes and have powerful anti-inflammatory properties at the cellular level. Kale essentially helps the liver clean up its own mess more efficiently. Pomegranate attacks it from another. Its primary polyphenol, punicalagin, has been studied specifically in the context of liver disease and shown to directly inhibit fat accumulation in liver cells, reduce hepatic inflammation, and protect against the progression from fatty liver to fibrosis. Together, they create something greater than the sum of their parts. The interaction between kale's glucosinolates and pomegranate's polyphenols triggers a significant upregulation of the body's own antioxidant defense systems, including glutathione production. Add 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed if you want to go further. Flaxseed provides ALA, a plant-based omega-3 precursor, and omega-3 fatty acids are among the most consistently studied nutrients for reducing systemic inflammation, including liver inflammation specifically. I want to stop here for a moment, because I think something important needs to be said. You might be watching this and thinking, okay, this is interesting, but I've heard things like this before. Eat more vegetables, drink more smoothies, and then nothing really changes. I understand that feeling, I really do. But I want you to consider something. Every single ingredient I've mentioned, the spinach, the kiwi, the grapefruit, the kale, the pomegranate, these aren't random health foods someone threw together. Each one contains specific, researched compounds that operate on specific biological pathways inside your liver. This isn't general wellness advice. This is targeted nutritional support for a specific organ that is working very hard on your behalf right now. The liver doesn't ask for much. It doesn't complain. It doesn't demand attention. It just keeps working, day after day, processing everything you give it, the good and the bad. These drinks are how you give something back. Let's keep going.
because the last few drinks and the fermented recipe at the end are genuinely worth staying for.
Drink 4. Papaya and water. The enzyme flood. Sometimes the most powerful things are the simplest. 1 cup of chopped papaya, water, ice, a small pinch of Himalayan salt for electrolytes. That's it. Papaya contains 2 enzymes, papain and chymopapain, that are remarkable in their activity. They support digestion, yes, but they also have direct anti-inflammatory effects on the liver that researchers are still working to fully understand. For a liver in a state of chronic low-grade inflammation, the enzymatic environment that papaya creates is genuinely soothing at a cellular level. Think of it as sending a repair crew directly to the site of the damage, quiet, efficient, and without any fanfare. Drink 5. Celery and blueberry, the iron broom. Here's something most people have never heard. One of the underappreciated drivers of liver damage as we age is iron overload. Iron is essential in the right amounts, but excess iron that accumulates in liver tissue generates something called the Fenton reaction, a process that produces extraordinarily destructive free radicals inside liver cells. It accelerates oxidative damage, promotes inflammation, and contributes to fibrosis, and most people have no idea it's happening. Blueberries contain anthocyanin polyphenols that have a documented ability to bind with excess iron in the body and support its safe removal. They also reduce hepatic fat accumulation and improve overall liver function in ways that make them one of the most liver-supportive fruits available. Celery is the quiet partner here. It stimulates bile production, reduces liver inflammation, and contains a compound called apigenin that specifically helps counter the oxidative stress caused by poor dietary choices. Add a teaspoon of raw apple cider vinegar if you're willing. The acetic acid it contains improves bile flow, supports blood sugar metabolism, and gives this drink a tangible metabolic edge. 1 cup of each, water, ice, optional ACV. Blend it, drink it slowly, and let it work.
Drink 6. Cucumber, lemon, and ginger, the deep hydration tonic. Your liver needs water more than almost any other organ in your body to do its job. Detoxification is water-dependent. Bile production is water-dependent. Phase 1 and Phase 2 liver detoxification pathways, the biochemical sequences your liver runs to neutralize toxins, require adequate hydration to function at full capacity. Most people are chronically mildly dehydrated, and that alone slows liver function in ways they'll never directly attribute to fluid intake. Cucumber is one of the most hydrating whole foods that exists. It also contains silica, antioxidants, and plant compounds studied in relation to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease prevention. Lemon directly activates liver detoxification enzymes and provides a fresh dose of vitamin C. Ginger adds gingerols, anti-inflammatory compounds that are particularly effective at reducing visceral inflammation, which is the kind of inflammation that surrounds and affects the liver directly. 1 cup of chopped cucumber, 1 full lemon peeled and blended, a slice of fresh ginger root, water, and ice. This drink is elegant in its simplicity and deeply effective as a daily liver tonic. If you only add 1 drink to your regular routine from this entire list, make it this one. Drink 7. Avocado and strawberry, the tissue rebuilder. Everything we have discussed so far has been about protecting the liver, reducing inflammation, clearing fat, improving bile flow. This drink does something different. It helps the liver rebuild. Avocado is one of the only whole foods that contains preformed glutathione, not just precursors, but the actual compound itself, along with monounsaturated fats, vitamin E, and specific phytosterols that have been shown to have direct reparative effects on damaged liver tissue. If the previous drinks are about stopping the damage, avocado is about healing what's already been done. Strawberries add metabolic support, improving the liver's ability to clear fat, supporting Phase 2 detoxification, and providing vitamin C that further elevates glutathione production. 1 cup of each, water, ice. This smoothie is rich, naturally sweet, and genuinely restorative. Make it on the days when you want to give your liver something extra.
Drink 8. Coconut and papaya with cinnamon, the low-stress fuel. Every organ has a preferred fuel, a form of energy it handles with ease versus forms that require significant work to process. For your liver, one of the most demanding things it can be asked to process is a constant flood of refined carbohydrates and long-chain dietary fats from processed foods. Every time that happens, the liver has to work overtime, and that chronic overwork is part of what leads to the accumulation of fat inside liver cells in the first place. MCT fats, medium-chain triglycerides, found abundantly in coconut, are metabolized through a completely different pathway. They bypass the standard fat digestion process and convert rapidly into ketones, which the liver and the brain can use as a clean, efficient fuel source with minimal processing burden. Giving your liver MCTs instead of refined sugar or processed fat is like switching from cheap, dirty fuel to premium. Everything runs smoother with less residue. Combine coconut with papaya's enzymes and anti-inflammatory compounds. Add a generous sprinkle of cinnamon, which has some of the most well-documented blood sugar stabilizing properties of any spice in existence, and you have a smoothie that is simultaneously nourishing, satisfying, and deeply therapeutic for a liver that's been pushed too hard.